I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the daunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Good morning and welcome to Open Conversation on Atlantic Television Network. Open Conversation is the network's flagship political platform through which trending political news, events and stories are discussed with stakeholders. Through these conversations, ATN uses political talks about specific issues, party system and actor to explore hope and engender positive impacts to the society. Today we'll look at these trending stories. Jonathan, not threat to Tinubu, presidential aide says. And on National Assembly, Senate won't be held hostage by any member, Akpabio says. On 2027, Omahi says that it is not yet the turn of the Southeast to run for presidency. And Atiku laments that Nigerian youths are losing hope in the country. Bakare denies mocking victims in ADC crash comments. And on insecurity, Timmy Frank urges Tinubu to sack service chiefs. We're open for sponsorship of the program, advert placements, news, events, coverage, and commercials. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. On Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. You can also watch us on Avo TV, Niger TV, and Efastech TV platform. You can connect with us on our ATN socials by subscribing, like, and share. Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1. And on X, Atlantic TV Net. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll delve right into the show.
People, Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the Temple of God.
What about access to our money will put in the bank?
She said $3,000 is 1,000 to collect $3,000. Where are we heading to? I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the daunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are? Representing people, Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the Temple of God.
What about access to our money will put in the bank?
She said $3,000 is 1,000 to collect $3,000. Where are we heading to? I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the daunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are? Representing people, Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the Temple of God.
What about access to our money will put in the bank?
She said $3,000 is 1,000 to collect $3,000. Where are we heading to? I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the daunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are? Representing people, Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the Temple of God.
What about access to our money will put in the bank?
She said $3,000 is 1,000 to collect $3,000. Where are we heading to? I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Access to our money we put in the bank.
POS operator, she said 20,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to? I've always said there are two sets of people on earth. The oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Access to our money we put in the bank.
POS operator, she said 20,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to? I've always said there are two sets of people on earth. The oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Joining me on Open Conversation this morning is Nze Nze. Nze Nze is a socio-political analyst. He's a regular on Open Conversation and he also prides himself as advocate of the masses. Good morning, Nze, and welcome.
Good morning, Laurentia, and good morning, Nigerians.
I also have with me Victor Enyiche, a regular on Open Conversation and also a socio-political analyst. Good morning, Victor, and welcome.
Great to be here, always. Good morning.
It's a pleasure having you today, Victor. And then on to the story. Senior Special Assistant to President Bola Tinubu on print media, Abdulaziz has dismissed speculations that former President Goodluck Jonathan's potential return to the 2027 presidential race poses any political threat. Speaking in Kano, he said Jonathan's loss as a sitting president in 2015 shows he remains politically weak and unlikely to challenge Tinubu's dominance. Abdulaziz maintained that neither the president nor his allies are worried about Jonathan's political moves, stressing that democracy allows anyone to contest, but without guaranteeing relevance. Someone who could not win as president cannot be a threat now, he said, describing Jonathan's political influence as diminished and constrained by time. He further advised the former president not to be misled by those urging him to recontest, warning that such advice could damage his legacy. According to Abdulaziz, a new presidential bid by Jonathan will end in futility as he no longer commands significant electoral support across the country. Nze, I'll start with you on this one. What do you make of this story?
Well, I will come from the angle of an analyst first. Then I will be landing on the ground that I'm a Nigerian. And I speak majorly from the basis of the masses. You see, Abdulaziz describing Jonathan's decision to contest 2027 election as not a threat to Mr. President, citing the loss he had, in 2015, as perhaps presenting Jonathan as a weak politician. That was very wrong analogy on his side, because what made Jonathan not to remain as president was his desire to do the right. Now, if in this country we want to diminish morality, we want to diminish rule of law, we now decide to gang stand and do things like, if I may say, garage boys. No, that is not justified anywhere in a sane society. So he shouldn't describe Jonathan from that angle. However, if I may paint this picture to Abdulaziz, that his government, the government of Bola Tinubu, had given Jonathan more credence. If they had performed better than Jonathan, I believe that Jonathan wouldn't have a space to come in. But they have shown Nigerians that when Jonathan was in power, Nigerians were thriving. businesses were doing better. Jonathan, the masses could feed themselves. You can afford medical care and all that. But because of the kind of policies that Bola Tinubu's administration, which Abdulaziz is serving under, is presenting to Nigerians, you see that everybody is now clamoring for a Jonathan. So if he says that Jonathan's emergence for 2027 election wouldn't be a threat to them, it means that there are things they know how to do which is not in line with the law that perhaps Jonathan might not do. But if it is for Nigerians to vote for Jonathan, I believe that 98% of Nigerians will vote for Jonathan, except the few who are maybe dealing with the government. Apart from those people, no sane Nigeria, even the most illiterate in the rural area, will vote Jonathan. Because you can imagine, a poor man, a poor woman who has about 3 or 4 children during Jonathan time could be able to feed those children. But now, in Tinubu's time, you see them releasing their children for some of these petty works just to see that they add more resources to their livelihood. But if such person hears that Mr. Jonathan is coming back, he or she will remember the good days they enjoyed and they will vote for him.
Was it the good days at that time?
Actually, that's why I'm saying that it is their bad policies now that is giving Jonathan a light. If they had done something better or similar to what Jonathan did, you see that nobody will be calling Jonathan to come. In as much as I do not agree with Jonathan even attempting to come to run. But the truth remains that's why I said I have to come from the angle of analysis, that for sure, Jonathan's government treated Nigerians far much better than Tinubu government. So, but for Jonathan to come, I would say no. God has saved him that stuff. You know, he does not have the bad names, except the ones that politicians call, you know, throughout the 8 years of Buhari. Lai Mohammed hinged all the blames that they created on Jonathan's government. You know, they capitalized on those propaganda and falsehood, you know, to wind the minds of Nigerians. But some of us who understand things, we go beyond what they say and see what they do. So Abdulaziz shouldn't put it up.
I will still get back to you.
That Jonathan is not a threat. If Jonathan should come and if a free and fair election should be allowed, Bola Tinubu will not score up to 20% of the cast
I'll still
votes.
get back to you on some of the things you have posited and say. But let me hear from Victor Eniche first. Victor, you have the floor.
Well, you know, it's interesting because it's all politics. I really understand what he has said. It's simple. We know there are rumors that you want to come. Whether you come or not is not a threat to us. It's all political strategy. In all sincerity, if you keep an open election between Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Jonathan, in all sincerity, Jonathan will not win Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Jonathan will not win Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
He will not. Because the question you want to ask first of all is, how would he get the ticket? Where will he get the ticket? Is it with the same Amechi that rubbished him, the people that fought against him?
He's pushing on that. It is not, Amechi is ADC now.
Which other platform?
It's PDP currently.
Please, let's be serious. There's nothing like PDP in this contest. You and I know that anybody that goes to pick a presidential ticket, you know, with the PDP, has already agreed that he would lose. He knows he's already in
Why
agreement.
do you say that?
Oh, because it's obvious. They are losing their structures. They've lost the values that they seemingly held, the little values that they held, the little influences here and there. That's all we told down. So which of is it the state governor that are all the campaign to APC? Are they the ones that will campaign for him? Or which structure? Even when he had structures, remember what happened? One of the major things that made him lose the election was betrayal from people within his own circle. And that's he was president that had power. Talk of now that you have, you know, I think the only thing Jonathan would do, if anybody should be scared or worried about Jonathan's coming to contest, should be the opposition, really. Because Jonathan would only take away from the opposition, not from Tinubu. If anybody should be worried, if Jonathan is a threat to anybody, I believe the threat is to the opposition.
That's the ADC.
Yes, well, the coalition or whatever. Even the coalition, up till now, they don't have that, you know, oneness. Yes, because the thing about politics is when he comes out to say Jonathan is not a threat to us. And people, of course, it sounds somehow and a bit disrespectful, but there are facts. This person was a sitting president, could not win. Why? The question is, those criteria, those things that made him not win, have they gone? Have they disappeared? Has he conquered them? He hasn't really conquered them, because now it's even worse, because some of the boys that worked with him work for Tinubu.
Now, let's look at some of the facts.
Yeah.
That when you were talking, we said these are the facts. Now, one of the major things that, caused Jonathan's failure in his second tenure, attempt at second tenure, was the fact that there was a whole lot of insecurity at that time. Do not forget the Chibok girls saga, and issues, to a point that Obi Ezekwesili was one of the people, Aisha Isufu, that kept hitting the streets back to back. Jonathan's administration was rife with, I think that was when insecurity was hitting its peak at that time, amidst other things. And don't forget the back-to-back protests during his administration. Now, the question would be, moving forward, from the time of Jonathan till now, the insecurity is at an all-time high, with, the U.S. now putting their eyes on the insecurity and what they have called religious genocide in Nigeria. Now, when you look at all these things, if Jonathan did not have the political will to fight insecurity at that time, what exactly is he going to sell to Nigerians to be elected? Because one of the... If Nigerians are going to vote, I mean, one of the things you should be able to sell to Nigerians
it's not really, it's largely ethnic than religious. It has been there for a very long time. Even if they kill the Christians, they kill the Muslims. There's no, this religion thing is, when people want to make an economy of issues like this, they give it a name. This is what they're doing. What do you mean genocide, Christian genocide? I agree they're killing a lot of Christians. We all know that. But they're also killing Muslims. So if you now go with the angle of, just like the US would always like to do, their strategy of war is mostly, it is religion. That is one of the moral
give it a moral appearance.
Yes, to do whatever. But for me, it's way beyond that. We know our problem as Nigeria. Look at the issues we're having with Nnamdi Kanu and so we're trying. These are issues that we know internally we should be able to resolve. But because we have failed to do that, people can come and campaign with all of this. Jonathan tried his best. Jonathan made sure Jonathan was, I think, the only president that was heading. He would go to the north to go and encourage the soldiers. We saw all he did. The question is, what is the status of this military now? It has gone worse than it used to be. Not because of the person that is president, but because of the people themselves.
Now, it still brings me back to the question I had asked earlier, considering that under Jonathan, yes, even at that, according to you, you're saying that it was an internal thing. It was orchestrated by mostly by certain people who wanted Jonathan out of the government. Now, even that, one could say to a large extent, he did not control the insecurity as it was spiraling. Now that it is now much more complex, do you think the political will, because I am looking at the indices, one of the indices that, people will consider when it comes to voting in 2027, one led before, and the indices are there to judge him by what he has done. On the angle of economy, one would say probably did better than what we are seeing now. Economy was better than what we are seeing now. But I am looking mainly at the angle of insecurity. Now, on the other hand, the presidency is saying he's not a threat. One would say, if he's not a threat, why respond to him? Why respond to the fact that, okay, he wants to run for presidency? And again, considering that of all the candidates now that will be contesting against Tinubu, he is the only one that has 4 years to run.
Like I said, it's all political strategy. The fact that he's coming, if you have an opponent that wants, would you come out and say, oh, this person will beat me or defeat me? It's all political strategy. As a strategist, for me, how I see it is, to be worried about Jonathan. It should be the opposition and not the presidency, because all Tinubu needs to do is go back, and there's enough content, there's enough material to campaign against that these same people that is in the opposition used and generated for. All you need to do, go and bring back all of those things, and everything quiets down.
And you feel that with respect to the APC, there are not enough content to also campaign against them?
No, but those content they use, you've already tested the content and he won. When he was president, he had the power and lost. They are saying that we were there. Tinubu had Jonathan did not receive half of what they abused Tinubu as individual. He has collected all of them and still won them. So that is the premise. They are saying that you had the opportunity on seat as president and you lost. We have fought this battle and won, so we believe that we were not like you. That is all they are saying.
All right.
So for me, it's just political talk, and whether it's true or not is only that way we will know. But for now, it's all political gimmicks.
Very well, Nze. Victor has said, took a different position, and he gave his reasons why. He said that if all is fair and square, that Tinubu will win Jonathan again in an election.
We have freedom of, we have different perspectives to issues, and we have freedom of choice. You can as well, that he said Tinubu will win Jonathan. He has his reasons. But I'm saying that if Nigerian politics should be free and fair, Tinubu will not get 20% of the vote cast. Do you know why? Who is going to cast the vote? See, I love the angle Victor came, when he was talking about the intended political run that the North gave to Jonathan in the area of creating insecurity and, Jonathan trying all his effort to curb the insecurity and it couldn't work. And you said if he could not contain it while it was spiraling, how will he contain it now? It is too difficult to wake somebody who is pretending to sleep than somebody who is sleeping in actually. So if Jonathan should handle the insecurity in Nigeria today, he will get it right.
How so?
He will get it right.
Was there political will to handle the first one?
Yes, there was. But
really?
Yes, there was. But he was always being sabotaged.
By who?
By the people within, the North. The reason was because they felt that Buhari will do better. They felt that Buhari would do better. Should he take over from Jonathan? And you know that even Bola Tinubu was part of the game.
You know that you also understand that the level of insecurity then and now is incomparable.
Yes.
And you also understand that the nature of insecurity we have now is much more complex than what existed when Jonathan was president.
Let me now speak from the security angle.
So now,
what do you call complex insecurity?
What makes you think that the sabotage right now is not more insidious?
No, the sabotage now is more about business people who are interested in making their money. But then it was about people who are interested in gripping power. Are you getting me? So the fighting insecurity then was quite different from fighting insecurity now. Do you see that some of the policies that Jonathan brought up, which was sabotaged, if it is applied now, actually, I may not say that insecurity will be completely curbed, but it will be reduced to a barest minimum. Do you know that this country, Nigeria, need foreign mercenaries to fight? Because you can see in our country today where some people will we bring weapons into Nigeria, create airports in Nigeria, and they are running it to land their flights and distribute arms and food to these bandits and insurgents, and go back unchecked, undetected, simply because some few men who are doing their business believe
the second question
they need this to have an edge.
If the North did not vote for Jonathan, or they worked against Jonathan's administration, what is the guarantee that the same North will vote for Jonathan in 2027?
Do you know what inspires a voter? What inspires a voter is his present problem. That's that. In the time of Jonathan, they were promised a better life with Buhari. They were promised a better life with Buhari. That was why, like he said, when Jaji was bombed, the people were rejoicing. How do they react now when bandits strikes? How do they react?
Now, when you say the voters, you know, the state of the voters is what determines who they vote. And you're coming from the angle of the fact that in Jonathan's time, it was easier and better than Tinubu's time. You also forgot that Nigerian elections has been rife and riddled with vote buying, thuggery, skullduggery, and every other kind of electoral manipulation you can think of. Now, the persons who sell their votes, actually, their states have, I mean, it is clear that poverty is a weapon that is usually used during election. So when you say the state of the voters will determine who they vote for, it is still the same voters that sell their votes.
Now, listen to me. Thank God that I will respond to you now from the angle of a politician. See,
go ahead.
When a voter is well educated, what we are doing now in the media is a strong weapon. When I come, okay, perhaps I'm contesting against Victor, and Victor is ready to buy votes, and I tell the voters that maybe Victor is in power, and we've seen his antecedents that has really kept people to where they are, and I come now to tell them that these things Victor did, he's intending to do worse, but he will give you a peanut. So when he's bringing his peanuts, this is what you should do, this is what you should, this is what you should do. Look at, do you know that in 2023, there was vote buying? I witnessed with my 2 eyes where people will collect money, 3,000 naira, to vote APC. They went and voted Labour Party. Now, in some polling units, you are not allowed to go with your phone. Because the voters, those who are buying vote will capitalize on the picture you show them that you actually thumbprinted for the APC, the broom, and not the mama papa pikin. But since they were forbidden from going into the polling booth with their camera phones to snap, to take the shot, so they will now go there because we indoctrinated, we taught them, collect the money, go and vote for your tomorrow. Vote for the tomorrow of your children. So they collected the money and they voted Labour Party. You'll be in the unit, by the time in the polling unit, by the time they come out, you see that as they count their results, Labour Party may be getting 110. PDP will get 3. APC will get 5. And in some places, you see that Labour Party will have 80. PDP will have 2. Maybe some of the agents. And the APC will have none. So we saw all those things. Now the question was that this organ that came here with a bag of money and was distributed, where is the effect of this? So you find out that we that educate the mind of the people have a lot to do. So if Jonathan is coming back and we are telling people, look, Tinubu did this, Tinubu, which they are seeing it playing in their lives. And we are telling them that the government is deceiving us, that our reward is in heaven, that better days will come ahead. And today, they that are within the table where the sharing is taking place are eating fat. And we are down there and they are not allowing crumbs to drop. Now, by the time these things are coming, we are educating the people properly. You now see that many of them will even be ready to collect your money. They will collect the money that you want to pay, except for thuggery and gangsterism, ballot box snatching, which if beavers can be, ratified to serve the people, serve the peoples, it will solve a lot of problems. Right. Because while you are coming to snatch a ballot box, already beavers have captured the number of voters and it is transmitting electronically. You see that you snatch ballot box will not make any sense. Right. Because by the time they count the votes in the ballot box and they count what beavers captured, they will not rhyme.
All right, very well. Very well, Victor Iniche.
I understand the angle is coming from, which is also, informed, but there's something that I think he's missing in his analogy or analysis is the reason why it seems like Atiku, Amechi, and the likes are quiet with these Jonathan's issues because they know that they cannot support him. They know that it's not an option for them. They know it will be a problem for them. So why the presidency understand that Jonathan coming will not be my problem directly. First of all, Atiku and the likes of Amechi then, verify. These are people that have severely fought against him. There are people that do not like him. They've not hidden the fact that they don't like him. It's not a secret. You and I, from all antecedents and precedents, you know that Atiku cannot give way for Jonathan. Amechi will not give way for Jonathan. Atiku might compromise for Amechi, might compromise for any other person, but not Jonathan. Same thing with Amechi. Amechi might compromise for Atiku if there's an understanding, but not for Jonathan. So the presidency understands this play that if Jonathan comes up, it will be okay. You want to go and divide the South-South, go and divide the South-South. Who do you want to divide? The North already has Nasir El-Rufai, has Atiku there. Divided. Tinubu understand, okay, I will sit back. I know my strategy. So this whole talk about hype about Jonathan, for me, I don't see it as... I understand why they say it's not a threat. They're not saying it's not a threat, that he will not cause any issue. But they understand that to them, the threat will not be just to them. But it will help them with the opposition. Because all it will do is to weaken the strength of the opposition, that is Atiku and the like. So the APC understand that, okay, look, if this guy comes up, I think the first line of action that he should deal with is Atiku and Amechi. Atiku has said the only thing he has said is he might give way to a younger candidate. The pointers are there.
He later said he never said that.
Oh, he denied that. Okay, so you see the angle. All of them, Amechi has said, I will do one term. Peter Obi has said, I will. Why? The question, what is informing them saying I will do one term is Atiku. They are all saying I will do one term to soften Atiku's heart to say, when I do one term as the South, I will hand over to you as a Northern. This is what they are saying.
But Jonathan is the person who they know. Nigerians know that it is sure by constitution that he cannot go beyond.
Now, do you know that the North? Do you know that the North will be more willing to come to an agreement with Tinubu? They will trust a Tinubu than a good Lord Jonathan to hand over power. Not just hand over.
Jonathan cannot go beyond.
No, that's not the point. It's not about you handing over. It's who do you hand over to. Look, the North they are very particular about their politics, and the North is actually polarized. They are divided. They are not as united as we think. In terms of, okay, if Tinubu is going to hand over somebody in the North, who will he hand over the North? Is a popular candidate, yes, in the North, but trust me, Atiku is not a consensus in the North. The North is divided. Kwankwaso is there, playing his politics. If he's going to come, how do you convince Kwankwaso that the person that you hand over to will not be Atiku? Because Atiku will not favor him. Who do you hand over to? But the Tinubu can come, they will trust a Tinubu more to say, see the person we think we should give in the North that we can all, I can support. This other person can support. So Jonathan being a threat, for me, it's not because of Tinubu. When we analyze, we look at Tinubu alone when we're analyzing it, but we're missing out the Peter Obi factor that is here. Or are you trying to say that you're going to dump...
Peter Obi, as he stands right now, nobody is sure of his position.
No, he's going to contest. That is a fact.
One leg of Peter Obi is still in Labour Party, the other leg is still in ADC. At the same time...
No, Peter Obi now has 3 legs.
At the same time, PDP is also saying that, they are in talks with Peter Obi. So, can Peter Obi take a decision now? So, if you're saying consider Peter Obi, what are the variables?
No,
what variables are you using?
That's why I said...
I think even obedient movements are even confused because today they fight for ADC. Tomorrow you see them pull out.
They are not confused because of Atiku, because they know that they will never support an Atiku over an Obi. They know what they want. The only confusion they're saying is that the confusion is, should we stay with the Labour Party or should we trust the Atiku for Obi? Because the truth is Obi has to contest.
On what platform is Obi contest?
On Labour Party. That is the only platform he has.
Who told you it's going to be on Labour Party?
Because you know why I'm saying this. One thing with Tinubu I observe is that the man is very intelligent. He plays with this kind of game. So he knows what he's doing. He surrounds himself. When Tinubu comes to say this man is not a threat, who is more of a threat, Jonathan or Obi? Obi is a bigger threat. Obi has shown that I can do this thing. All I need is more support from a system. Shikena, and it will be done. The system now understand that, look, if we allow Obi will deal with us. So they know that they are part of the system. Obi is trying to fight.
The question,
so they will not give to him. That's kind of...
Which platform?
So have you not seen that since we are now analyzing the opposition, Jonathan has not been mentioned? The
question now is...
He's not really a threat. That means that a threat. Peter Obi is a threat. You can call that a threat.
When you say Peter Obi, let's look at Peter Obi and whether he's an actual threat or not in the real sense of the word. When you talk about being a threat from the angle of what he could do with regards to pulling votes and all of that, yes. However, there appears to be a very smart politicking going on, which Obi might not be taking cognizance of. Obi is in bed with the ADC. And in being in bed with the ADC, appears to have ignored the politics playing out in Labour Party. Recall that in the by-elections, Abure's candidates were delisted. INEC refused to recognize Abure. Meanwhile, Nenadi Osman the Nenadi Osman's committee did not present a candidate. So INEC is silent on Nenadi Osman's leadership. If Nenadi Osman had presented and INEC went with Nenadi Osman, we can now say, okay, Nenadi Osman is the legitimate leader of Labour Party. But INEC is silent on that angle. So, which means we don't even know where INEC stands with Nenadi Osman. It is also possible that towards or when the windows for primaries end, and let's say Obi loses out in ADC and goes back to Labour Party, there is every possibility that INEC might decide to wake up and say, we don't recognize Nenadi Osman. And by that singular action, Obi is out of the game. Now, Obi remains in bed with ADC. The windows for primaries close. And Atiku's aide is insisting that their primaries will be by delegates conference. If it is by delegates conference, Obi might not be able to win that ticket.
Why did he leave PDP in the first place?
Because of delegate conference. he couldn't secure tickets in the PDP because of delegates conference. Now, Atiku's people, Amechi's people, El Rufai's people, Arebeshola, Mark's people will come together and go for their delegates, will vote for who they have agreed to. So your guess is as good as mine. Obi might not win delegate conference.
Sorry, I just want to ask a quick question.
Now, hold on. Now that takes us to PDP. You now have Jonathan, and you also have the likes of I'm trying to remember the governor, the outgoing governor that is upcoming right now with his own faction.
Is it Fintri?
Not Fintri, Yoruba.
Makinde.
Sheyi Makinde.
Yeah.
The Sheyi Makinde factor is also there because he's eyeing the presidency as well. So when you look at all these things playing out, can Obi win delegate conference in PDP? That he has been out of the loop for a very long time. So it might play out that at the end of the day, Obi might take a decision late. Obi has not said anything.
Now, Obi not saying anything. Ordinarily is a wise decision because you have to be careful, right, in making commentaries of matters like that. Obi has been talking, but not in this manner. Now, Atiku is first to come out to tell the Southeast, I am for you people. They have somebody that is Obi that they know has been, of course, pushing for this kind of thing. OT has been pushing. We know that people haven't, just a few weeks before us already did that. I think Governor Oti mentioned that he was in touch with the presidency. They're trying to see how they can himself with the deputy. And so when it comes with this campaign, and Atiku was the first to come out. I read that and I was very disappointed. I'm disappointed in Nigerian leaders because they know what they're doing, just to use the people. Look at Atiku coming to make a statement like that ought not to come from someone like an Atiku. Look, this matter is a very sensitive matter. So Sowore is not doing that because he knows Nnamdi Kanu will be freed by what he's doing, but because he knows that his voice in history will be recorded that he was a very vocal person in terms of...
Vocal person. I hope you understand that the Igbos and the Southeasterners are not stupid and they understand the politics that
it's not about being stupid.
Because, hold on, why coming now that...
I don't know falling for it. What do you mean?
Hold on, the pressure has mounted already. So one could see that Sowore more like came into the talks.
He's leveraging.
Everybody is leveraging. Everybody could see that it's leverage.
You see that foreigners that will come out for that protest will be more than the people that will need this thing. What will happen?
Everybody knows. People would know that it's definitely leveraging. And on the other hand, the risk there now is that Sowore is also facing the same charges of treason that Nnamdi Kanu is facing. But he's walking free. So now conversations will also start on that. But let's not deflect from the conversation because we are looking at Jonathan's presidency.
Now, I intentionally drove this conversation to this angle to let you understand why they made the statement that Jonathan is not a threat.
Right.
You see that in trying to talk about the challenges of this 2027, we have not mentioned Jonathan because which area will Jonathan influence? I understand why Obi is quiet. I believe why Obi is quiet is you understand that stirring up this now would only cause more issues, more ruckus in the Southeast. Right now, there's a potential of, if Obi contests, of still getting that reasonable amount of block vote from the Southeast because there's relative calm.
Now, do you know that Obi's silence, to a large extent, might work against him in the Southeast?
It will work against him because these other people will use it to work against him. But they know.
Definitely.
They know that if he remains like this, yes, now Obi has a block vote that he's supposed to protect.
Regardless.
If there's instability in the Southeast because of an agitation, Obi loses a major amount of vote. There will be agitation, yes, but there will be instability and excuse for INEC to do whatever, or politicians to do whatever they want to do.
Well, I'm coming from a different perspective.
Just like they did to Jonathan in the North.
The perspective of Nnamdi Kanu, Obi's silence.
He has been talking. It's not yes,
but Obi's silence with the pressure that is mounting, one would say, is it going to work in his favor? Now, Obi has been talking, correct. But now, there are reports showing that Nnamdi Kanu's health is failing and his organs are failing. One would expect that, for someone who still wants to maintain the vote of his people, if there was anybody to carry this whole campaign on his head, it would have been Obi. To a large extent, not only will it help with consolidate whatever it is, obedience movement, it's all about. But then there are certain persons, voters in the Southeast that still like it or yes, right now, most of the Southeast states have moved to APC.
The governors, you mean?
The governors, having moved to APC, your guess is as good as mine, the implication in 2027. So now the governors will come in with their influence. But what is Obi's strategy to break the votes of the governors in these states, considering that the governors are now standing with Tinubu in 2027? I mean the Southeast governors. Politics is local. So what is he doing to dissuade part of the voters? Now, I think, Nse, I will now ask you this question at this point. Having seen how everything is playing out, how do you think Obi's silence in the case of Nnamdi Kanu is going to favor him come 2027, considering that Southeast governors are siding Tinubu?
Number one, let me say that Peter Obi is not silent about Nnamdi Kanu's continued detention with DSS. Obi has been vocal about that, and the Southeasterners know about it. One thing is that when dealing with Southeasterners, you should know that you are dealing with intelligent people. You are dealing with people who reason beyond what you are looking at. It will take a little dangle of carrot to win Southeasterners, and it will take also a little display of weapon to scare them away. However, looking at what is happening in the now, I believe that P2B is playing more of external politics than internal politics. And that will tell very badly on him should he contest 2027 election. If you look at the formation of coalition, the ADC coalition, you see that it is formed and framed in such a way that it will favor Atiku. P2B can never win in the ADC coalition's delegate primaries. It will never work. So ADC is for Atiku. Everybody knows that. And when you look at each of them coming out to say, I'll do 4 years, I mean, for one term. I'll do one term, and things like that. And when Obi came openly to say he would do one term, you saw the response of
Amici.
Response of the Kaduna Kaduna Oga. I call him Oga. I don't want to use the other name. You see his reaction. And when we look at that, what prompted Obi's declaration of one term? He simply want to have a romance with the North. Give me this Tinubu's remaining 4 years, and I will return power to the North. He was looking for a romance. But who will believe you? Who do you think you can bewitch with that kind of this thing? So even the cheapest politician, we know that you cannot succeed in that ploy. And I expect P2B to have people, great think tank, who sits down to solve the political arithmetic of the now, looking at what has happened in the past and what will happen in the future, then begin to dissect it now and refix things. That is what I had expected after 2023 election, because that election was actually for P2B. Yeah. And P2B never had any governor anywhere, no minister, no senator, nobody. And he had such organic support. The upsurge of voters that came out and voted for him. But however, he wasn't, the system, as he said, knew that Obi's emergence will destroy them. So they had to fight against it. And Obi lost. So Obi should have gone back to begin to look at how to fix his internal strength and what's it called? His internal formation, which some of us call structure. Because to a point, Obi's movement made every Nigerian a structure. Yeah. I became a structure, you became a structure. So that political structure that other political parties are building were somehow negated. Now, Obi's supposed to have concentrated on this. No. That's number one. Then number two, begin to see how he can work his way into the system. Because, look, you can't destroy a strong army from outside. Oh. It takes a ninja to destroy a ninja. So how can you get yourself and your people into the system? Now look at one of the failures of Obi's political strategy. How many Southeasterners is eating on the same table with P2B? That's the question. Do they hate him? No. He's their brother. But do they have alliance with him? No. Because politically, we don't respect the issue of brotherhood. Political brotherhood is different. It's just like Scout brotherhood. When we were in Boy Scout, they tell us that a Scout is a brother to another Scout, irrespective of your brothers out there. So every other personal biological brother is an outsider. You take your Scout brother as one. That was the orientation they gave us. And in politics, it plays. That's why you see two brothers can be quarreling. They live under the same roof, yet they don't belong to one same political party. And this one will keep the secret of their political party from the other, and the other will keep the secret. So you should understand that I had expected P2B to make sure that he's in alliance, strong, if I may say, spiritual and ethnic alliance.
Yes,
spiritual and ethnic alliance with Hope Uzodinma. Irrespective of Hope Uzodinma's closeness to Tinubu.
APC or...
Yeah. Then, Soludo, his brother, his governor. Can P2B and Soludo walk the same street today? Now, look at Peter Mbo of Enugu State. And the governor of Ebonyi State. And Abia State.
Oti here.
Abia State. Obi is even the Obi and Oti that's supposed to come from the same political family. To what extent do they agree? And P2B is flying from north to west, doing things for people, thinking that you will, as long as you have few of the rural dwellers that sing your praise, that you've got it all. No, politics is not played like that. And we availed ourselves in Labour Party to help. In fact, I believe that I'm one of the persons that sold P2B to Rivers State.
One would say to a large extent that, you know, Labour Party has been so balkanized. The question people will now be asking will be if he could not, you know, pull Labour Party together. Is it Nigeria with complex issues?
No. Now, you can't use Labour Party to judge P2B at all.
Hold on. The structure you're talking about, Labour Party was having issues. When you say, I cannot use it to judge him, Nigerians are asking questions.
Let me come to that.
Now, clearly, you have said ADC is for Atiku. Meanwhile, Obi is also in bed with the ADC, hoping to clinch presidential tickets with the ADC. At the same time, Obi is still with Labour Party. He's still in Labour Party. Nenad Usman has clearly said he's a member of Labour Party. He has not resigned. And yet, we have not seen any major move to see that they close rank and files, just in case ADC does not work out. So can Obi say Labour Party is a viable vehicle for him to run 2027? Now, PDP, on the other hand, you know, initially there was a time when the noise was loud between Obi and Jonathan, but it appears that PDP is now slowly tilting monotonously towards Jonathan. That's why I was asking the question, I was voicing my concern. Are these things not political games that will give Obi hope? And then at the end of the day, he will realize that he doesn't even have any platform at all.
You analyze something very powerful here. When you talked about INEC's
position with Labour Party,
which will come out with the factions in Labour Party. Today, nobody can tell that what INEC position is.
They're silent.
And it is a political strategy. Yeah. The question is, who does Obi have that is working hand in hand with INEC to know INEC stand? Because these things are very important. Who does he has that is working with INEC to know what INEC may do, INEC's next line of action, even if that person is not an INEC official, but he's closely monitoring, following, even if it is his media.
One would even say, why is Nenadi Osman caretaker committee silent? I mean, caretaker committees are usually 6 months, isn't it? Why are they silent? They were saddled with the responsibility of conducting a delegate conference, a convention, national convention, to produce, you know, national officers. So one would say, why are they silent?
No, if you want to question, if you want to query
because
the silence
if they had done that national convention, probably they would have sent, of course, they would send the invitation to INEC. If INEC declines that invitation, one would say, okay, INEC does not also recognize Nenadi Osman. But in this instance, Nenadi Osman's caretakership, one would wonder, are they even there? Because Abure appears to be making the news more than Nenadi is making the news.
See, Laurentia, we are in Nigeria and we've seen politics being played. the problem we have, we the masses have, is that we arrogate more powers and more intelligence and wisdom and to these political office holders or politicians. Look, the truth is that it might shock you to know that Nana Usman's caretaker committee might just be busy with the local rancor, the local battle, the in-house battle, that they are not even seeing what is happening.
Now let's go to INEC portal. I just opened the INEC portal, and I just opened the Labour Party. And in INEC portal, even though INEC say they listed the candidates of Abure during the by-elections, on the INEC portal here, I am seeing Labour Party National Chairman, Barrister Julius Abure, by court order. So now, these are the issues. So INEC by action is not recognizing Julius Abure, but INEC by documentation
is still keeping Abure.
I am seeing Abure on their portal. Or is it that their portal is not working? These are the issues that I said. How is this going to play out in 2027? And how this might affect the chances of Obi when it's already too late for him to switch.
I think I want to point out something. That
Go ahead.
We're all in agreement that what the spokesman, the special advisor, Abdulaziz, said about Jonathan not being a threat. We are all, from this conversation, we are all agreeing because, this is what we mean by Jonathan is not a threat to us. This is what they mean by Jonathan is not a threat. So if in a war room they want to start strategizing, Jonathan will only come up just the way he's coming up in this conversation. He's only a threat to the real opposition, which are these people. Jonathan will only come to scatter the little votes, the votes that Peter Obi is supposed to get from the South. I'm telling you.
See,
there are people that will look at both of them and say, I like Obi, but Jonathan get this one. The people that will go for an Atiku instead of Obi, they are not. Atiku's people are his people. You cannot collect Atiku's people. But there are people that Obi will lose just because of Jonathan. People that supported Obi were not just people from Southeast. They were Nigerians from all parts. Right. If you give them a Jonathan, you're giving them an option.
See,
not to Tinubu, but to Obi and Atiku and the likes of Amechi.
Let me also point out this, that there is this possibility that Peter Obi may not contest 2027 election under ADC, nor Labour Party, nor PDP.
So which?
Let me say this earlier, because from the look of things, you see that Obi is smartly being dribbled out of Labour Party, smartly, and by structure, he's being structurally moved out from ADC coalition, and in PDP, Obi's returning to PDP is like someone going back to his vomit. Now, if these three political parties did not field Obi, he will likely fall in for a less populated and, if I may say, popular political party, and which will give him a little push. He will also give that political party a push, but he cannot win an election. And I know that if after 2027, I don't think if Obi will come back in 2031. The same thing with Atiku. That is why I keep on saying that for now, the only candidate that Nigerians are looking at to win that election is just Bola Tinubu. Because the man, by strategy, by planning, by whatsoever thing you may call it, by trickery, by even spirituality, is putting himself in the front line. Are you getting me? Because even in his bad policies and all that, you see that he's the only one. It's just like when you are abducted, and in the camp where they kept you people, one of your abductors, when you tell him you want to win,
he will allow you.
He will carry you. You will go out while you are winning. Both of you are gisting. He becomes your friend. But now you are a doctor. Now, when you people come back and they are eating, he can spare maybe 2 or 3 candy and come and drop on you, and you see him as your hope.
Meanwhile,
whereas he's your doctor. So that is the game this man is playing on Nigerians, and we can't escape it. That's why each time I talk, I said we have been captured.
All right.
We're only believing that only heaven will help us out.
One would say probably Obi should be smarter and make hay while the sun shines. That's the most important thing. If he's moving with Labour Party, then Labour Party should, you know, clearly hold a convention so that we know by INEC's position of their convention, we know on time where INEC is standing. If INEC is saying it's not Abure, INEC is saying it's not Nenadi Osman, then INEC should tell us who to follow
they are standing with
Labour Party. But Nenadi Osman's, would I say, lack of proactivity, you know, to ensure that Labour Party is viable will not only make them lose, it will not only make them lose, you know, existing members of the party, but also balkanize their structure even further. Well,
let me shock you by saying this, that there is this game that is being played. You know, why I can only say it now is that I'm no longer in service. But as a security personnel, do you know what it takes to win somebody's ADC, woo somebody's ADC against his boss in the army? That is the game that is going on now. I don't trust anybody. Come to Nenadi Usman, I don't trust her. She can be wooed into working for APC, just as Abure was wooed. Because at some point, we were saying that Abure was working for APC. And people said, why are you talking like that? Show your claims. Until we had Abure calling Tinubu to come and fix Labour Party. So if it's just like you now telling somebody to go and help zip your wife's dress in the room. What does that mean? What are you trying to employ in this game? So you see that very game is ongoing, and P2B is not seeing it. We made a lot of mistakes in 2023 that made APC, even though we know it was stolen, but it was stolen with style. If P2B had applied some of the things we pointed out in 2023, he wouldn't have lost the way he lost, and most of the people that worked with him. But if he can look at that loss and begin now to correct some of these things, in the first instance, we wouldn't have even lost Abure. We wouldn't have lost Abure. We would have brought Abure down, get him settled. Because what is all these things? Oga, I see that this woman is stronger than me, and I need her to shine. She can be there, I will only be there, but I need her. But she's stronger than me. What do? I go to her in secret and kneel down to her. Now, by the time I've kneeled to her, she comes openly to kneel to me. Who then is the boss? That is what we call political strategies that men use, that others do not know. You will come and say, I'm the governor, I'm the governor.
Well, wasn't that what Obasanjo did sometime to us?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, no, it actually did happen between Obasanjo and Atiku.
We know when it happened. When Obasanjo saw the powers of Atiku, he had to succumb. But after he succumbed, Atiku came openly and knelt before him as his boss. So these are things that we had expected to play around Peter, but he didn't do that. Now, coming to Jonathan, my plea to Jonathan is never you accept that. Come openly and tell us in Nigeria that you are not doing. Just tell us so that these people can rest. Let them begin to shop for another candidate who might fly their flag in 2027.
I think he's enjoying the attention.
Still talking about 2027, Minister of Works David Umahi has said the Southeast must wait for its turn to produce Nigeria's president, insisting that the 2027 belongs to President Bola Tinubu to complete his 8-year term. Speaking in Abuja, Umahi recalled that Southern governors had unanimously supported a Southern presidency in 2023, which led to Tinubu's emergence, and therefore, it would be unfair for the Southeast to demand power so soon. Umahi stressed that Tinubu's tenure represents the entire South and should be allowed to run its full course until 2031 before the Southeast can rightfully contest. He admitted that the region had suffered marginalization in the past, but maintained that the current administration was addressing its needs through massive infrastructure investments, including multi-billion naira road projects across the zone. According to him, Tinubu has demonstrated fairness by funding key road and bridge projects linking Southeast states, showing that his government does not discriminate. Umahi urged his people to be patient and appreciate the president's developmental strides describing his own appointment as Minister of Works as one appointment too many for the region. Victor, what do you make of this story?
Well, politicians will always be politicians. Dave Umahi, of course, is representing his boss. He currently works with the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and of course will do everything to maintain that relationship, that he has with the president. However, what he said, there's some sense in what he said, and just I think he mentioned something about the strategy that the southeastern leaders, mentioned Obi specifically, should be doing by this time. Build bridges. We're not saying be in the same party. You don't even have to be in the same party. OT is not in the same party with the president, but there's an alignment. It's always, with the president. He has never said, nobody has pushed OT to go and join APC. Have you noticed that nobody has?
They've attempted with him once, and he told them he's not moving.
Yes, they will. But nobody is using that as a criteria to why they will support him or not support. The man is playing and this is what I expect our leaders in the Southeast to do by this time. You don't do it to us. Don't do it in the media. We don't want to see it. Just like you mentioned, go and call those of them and tell them, oh boy, look at this thing we're facing. What do we do? We forget our, this. It's not in the press. Discuss, have conversations. How do you push from your angle? How do I push from my angle to ensure that we achieve a particular goal? If that is done, you see that. And look, like I mentioned, remember I mentioned something. I said the North would rather trust a Tinubu to commit to his word in terms of handing power over than any other person you hear about, even Jonathan included. Because why? He has shown this antecedent to keep to his agreement with his fellow politicians in terms of if Tinubu is supporting you, everybody knows that he's supporting you, and he will support you to the fullest. So this is the time for the Southeast to play that national politics and play it rightly into the system. I'm saying not playing it externally. You have an agitation, you have an argument. No, the interesting part, nobody has denied that the Southeast is being marginalized. The North has agreed, they know. The Southeast, no. The North Central, everybody knows in Nigeria that in terms of fairness and equality, it is not being distributed evenly to the Southeast. But the question is, that alone is a sentiment. How do you achieve it? You cannot achieve it in isolation. Get into the system. Dave Umahi is there in the APC trying to push. Uzodinma, even though doesn't have so much influence on the people, but he's there, has access to the power. Oti on the other side, being on the opposition, is proving that, look, in the Southeast, we can do better. Imagine if the governors in the Southeast show that in terms of capacity and leadership in their state, they can perform more than any other person. If they come together and say, we need the presidency, they will have some sound, reason. But you have to do that within powers. You cannot influence the system from outside. We keep saying this. So while I understand David Umahi is trying to protect his boss and his interests perfectly, but we're saying there's a bit of truth in what he's saying. And I believe he himself included has a responsibility to come and call his brothers in the South, his fellow leaders. How do we achieve this goal? If all of us agree that we need to achieve this, how do we achieve? And until that is done, I think it's going to be very difficult. Tinubu is not the kind of person that you think no. Tinubu has come to do what he has come to do. And it will be it is a Herculean task to think Tinubu is the person you want to push away. Just like he mentioned, both in the APC and in the PDP, the South leaders agreed in the different parties that it is the turn of the South. The PDP governors in the South said, yes, the South. The APC, the same thing. So who are the people are you going to come today to agree that this agreement we had is a charade, let us scatter it? That is what he's saying. And I understand that even I know he's trying to protect his boss, which is his duty at this point. There's a sense and a truth to what he's saying. That's what I guess.
All right. Nze, what is your take?
Well, coming from the angle Umahi just presented the matter, it will seem as if he's anti-Southeast, but that's not the truth. Southeast lost their slot in 2023, which was golden, but they lost it to Southwest, which just finished in 2007. Was it 2007 or thereabout? Yes, 2007, when Obasanjo stepped down. And in 2015, Southwest also produced Southwest produced the vice president. In 2008, 2007-2008, South produced vice president. And you see that in the scheme, Southeast has been pushed out. No, they have not had the chance of becoming producing a president nor vice president. I mean, in this latest political dispensation. But coming to 2023, we felt that was Southeast's golden opportunity, but it was truncated by a South-Southerner. And at the end, it returned back to Southwest. So you see that within this political calculation, Southwest has taken 2 slots. Northwest has taken 1 slot. 2 slots, yeah, Buhari and Yaradua. South has taken half a slot. No one to the Southeast. By 2031, by my own calculation, the slots should move to Northeast, not Southeast. The slots should move to Northeast. That was why that is why you could see my effort in 2023 to make sure that Southeast produced a president. But my effort was later rubbished, and I allowed that. There's nothing I can do. So now, in the next political calculation after Tinubu, it should be Northeast. Now, by 2039, Southeast can now begin to think about producing a president. Whereas by that time, most of the strong politicians today would have been ebbed by age. If care is not taken, by myself, I might not even be strong enough to contest
African politicians, it's age a factor.
But Madagascar is already showing us, Madagascar and how well are they performing?
For the 8th time.
Is that not madness?
Is it not 98?
But is
at the age of 98.
No, what they want is that they want to die in the seat.
The point is that African politics appears to be quite different. So when you're bringing in age as a factor, well,
Gen Zs and Gen Alphas will teach us lesson with time. Just relax. If I don't predict it now, it means I'm myopic. So I already see where the thing is leading us. It shall come to pass in Nigeria when a young man between his 35 and 32 will be a president. A young man between 40 and 30 will be a senate president. I think in this last election, a woman of about 19 years or thereabout, or 18, won councillorship. Is it not a signal to us? A woman of about, in fact,
to the assembly, I think there was somebody 23.
Okay, somebody of 23. In the State House of Assembly. So you see that these generations are coming. When they are saying that youth is the hope of tomorrow, and we grew up into that tomorrow and discovered that the elders who promised us that tomorrow is our turn are still in charge. So, and we lost out. I'm supposed to be in the House of Reps by 2027, but I was pushed out. And now I'm advancing rapidly, because every Christmas reminds me, I'm a January born, every Christmas reminds me, guy, you are growing older. And you can see some white stuffs coming out around my hairy regions. And I cannot doubt the fact that age is telling. So I have already started producing my children to take over from me in leadership and politics. I told them, do not believe the lies they tell you that politics is a scam. It's not a scam. Study it. Serve, understudy some of the people who are making sense in politics and see how you come up. But when you are coming up, you come up with the family value, because I'm teaching my children value, family value, Christian value, and societal value. And by the time they throw this part, you find out that they will definitely produce results. One of my sons in one of the universities just called me last 2 weeks that he wants to contest for a position of president of his department. I said, go ahead. The one that seniored him came out as a faculty president in his before he graduated. So this one now is also contesting. I said, go ahead. Leadership is something that if you are trained or born into it, you can come out and do better. But take it that it is something where you are coming to serve the people and serve God. The 2 persons that I always look at in leadership is, number 1, God and the people.
Now,
Deliver dividend to the people that have elected you.
So both of you are saying, if I understand both of you are standing by what Omahi has said, that the Southeast should wait till
they don't have option.
2031. Right. Now, clearly the Southeast governors are backing the president come 2031. I mean the
2027.
Come 2027. I mean the governors, because clearly they are defecting to the APC, and which means, of course, they are going to work for the president.
I think it's just one governor that is showing interest now. It's just one governor, Mba, of Enugu State.
Governor Mba is he said he's moving tomorrow, officially.
We're waiting because I have not been contacted as
Alex Oti is Labour Party.
Yeah, and he's not showing any sign of moving.
Alex Oti is not showing any sign of moving, and even at the local level, he played that politics with Zenith Labour Party. And not APC. So yes, whilst Alex Oti remains Labour Party governor, at the presidential level, who is the candidate for Labour Party?
If there is none, he will support anyone. If there is none from Labour Party, he will support anyone of his choice.
And he may support anyone of his choice, and that his choice might mean negotiating with the president. Don't interfere in my states, and I will give you the states.
I like what the Southeast governors are doing. I just hope that they are able to carry the people along, not just
themselves.
Yes, and say we are
And that is the point where I'm complaining that my state governor has not reached out to me. I'm from Enugu State. He has not reached out to me, and I know I'm a strong political player.
Governor Wayfor is what state, please?
He's a Ebonyi State now, and he's APC.
He's APC. Ebonyi State is APC. Enugu State is going to APC.
But Anambra State is still APGA.
Imo State is APC. Anambra State is still APGA.
And Abia is...
Your guess, as Anambra State might be the only state that, APC at the presidential level might be 50-50. Because Anambra as a state does not like APC. As a state, the people of Anambra...
And this solidarity for APGA is just based on Chukwemeka Odumegwu. So they have to be allowed to remain with that.
However, it might go either way, because Tinubu also has given Ojukwu's wife an
appointment. Yes.
So that might be a selling point
you see how
for him.
Soludo can assess the president.
With ease.
No problem. Oti can also do that. So it's only sensible because they understand. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I like the approach they are taking, but it shouldn't be done in isolation. They should carry that. They should explain to the people why we're doing this thing. This is not because we are supporting any. This is because of our interest. This is what we're planning. We're hoping. When you talk to people like that, the people were able to sit down and say, okay, it's APC. So there are people that might be in the APC with you, but they'll tell you, Tinubu is not my leader. You're allowed to be in APC and choose who leads you. I'm saying you can play that politics, that the political party is only for the interest of the people to move, and not because they want to grow the APC in the north. No, just because they know that if we're in the middle, if we're connected to the center, we can get some of these things approved. The South Development Initiative is there. Can we ensure that the presidency pumps a lot of money so that we can develop our area, empower people, so that before that 2031, that we know that we are ready to push. We can now say we're already strong. We have our alignment in place to push for it. Because whatever is going to be done now will be that the Southeast would be strongly behind the person that emerges from the Northeast. Now, so that when the person comes, the person will also be the one to protect their interest and ensure that the person that will succeed me must be
from the South.
Because we can be sleeping and someone from the Southwest or South can just come up.
That was the point I wanted to make. I hope that if Omahi is saying this, I hope there is a clear understanding between the Southwesterners and the Southeasterners that if they are backing, if they are throwing their weight, if Southeast is throwing their weight,
the Southwest, they don't have an option. You can see Tinubu is gone. Leave Tinubu. Focus on the person that will take over from Tinubu, so that you know that look,
from this person.
See,
right.
Lorenzo, let me
Very
point
well.
this. You know, this thing is very, very important in politics, but it's like most young ones don't even value it. You know, strategizing ahead of time, planning ahead of time. If now, I just told you that by my calculation, it is 2039. And if in 2025, some people can begin to make their strategies and plans for 2039. Okay, in 2031, we won't disturb you. We'll only field candidate, but we won't give him support.
All right.
So that you can emerge. By the time you emerge, we know that when you are done with your 8 years, you will be coming to give us.
All right.
And if that agreement, gentleman agreement is reached, you see that there will be possibility.
Okay, very
that
well.
even from beginning of 2031, the person who will win the presidency will begin to front somebody.
And have that understanding.
Yeah, from
right.
the background,
so
that by the time the time is coming, we will take it back.
All right, thank you so much, Nze, for coming. It's a pleasure having you. I wish we have more time for these permutations. And thank you so much also, Victor and Niche, for coming. And thank you so much, our viewers, for always staying connected to us. And we wrap it up at this point on Open Conversation. We are open for sponsorship of the program, advert placements, news, events coverage, and commercials. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv, on Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. You can also watch us on Avo TV, Niger TV, and Efastech TV platform. You can connect with us on our ATN socials by subscribing, like, and share. Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1. And on X, Atlantic TV Net. Do not forget, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching. I am Laurentia Ugu. Transition News comes up next. Do not go away.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.